What's going on, guys? I'm gonna try my first kind of like face-to-face video here. I was pHing some of my water. I figured I might as well make a quick video on how to do that because I don't believe that I have. Now, every pH up and down is going to be kind of similar. This time I'm using the general hydroponics pH up and the pH down. I have used, one second. I have used the Bloom City pH down, and I've used the Nectar of the Gods Olympus up. All of them are going to work pretty similar. There's really not much difference in them. Some people might want the more natural one versus the more chemical one. I haven't noticed much of a difference between any of them. Some might be a little stronger than others, so you might need to use a couple more drops or a couple less drops, but they'll usually have some kind of instructions on them. This one says, use sparingly, add to your solution little at a time, then test pH. I'll do a nutrient mixing video separately once I get to that stage of this grow. This is just for pHing water for the early stages of the plant. So basically what I do is I'll take my jug of water. I just kind of shake it up just in case, if there's anything in there. I'll take a little cup or something. You can literally use a bowl, cup, anything. Pour you, a little bit of water. Hopefully you can see that. So just enough to where you can get your pH meter's probe down in there and make sure that it's covered all the way. And then I just go in, swirl it around a little bit. And then depending on your pH meter, mine will actually give a little smiley face. Sorry, trying to do this backwards. It'll give a little smiley face on the screen down there next to the 68.9. So now I know it's pretty much solid. It's either 7.3, 7.4. So now I know I don't want 7.4 because I'm using soil. So what I'm going to want to do, I try to aim personally 6.3, 6.4 is kind of where I try to aim. So what I'll do is I know, 7 point whatever, is my goal here. My water right now. Take my water. I'll start with just a couple drops, until I learn how strong it is. I've done a few bottles already, so I kind of know, but basically I'll drop, 2-3 drops in, put the cap on, shake it up, give it a minute, and then re-pH it. If it still needs to come down, you can kind of get an idea. For instance, if I put 2 drops in here and it goes from 7.4 to 7.0, then I know, okay, it just went down 0.4. If I do 2 more drops, I should be at, 6.6, or, you can kind of calculate it, and the more you use it, it'll become almost like second nature. I'm actually writing this stuff down right now to make it easier on myself as I go. I know, for instance, the last jug I did, I used 8 drops. So what I'll do is just kind of real slowly with my little syringe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I use the cheap, crappy syringes, so sometimes it drops out a lot faster than I want. Do yourself a favor and buy like a decent syringe. Just go ahead, shake it up. You don't have to go crazy. It usually mixes up pretty quickly. But go ahead, give it a little shake. And go ahead, pour you a little bit back out for your pH meter. And stir it up real good. And then you'll see, those 8 drops, it's almost perfect. All this water comes from the same place. I get it from a spring down the street. So theoretically, unless something crazy happened at the time I'm filling the jugs, they all should be very close to one another. So now I'm 8 drops and I'm at 6.4. So I'm literally perfect. I'll pour that water back in, or you can toss it, up to you. I just don't want to waste the water because I got to drive out and get it. And then on my bottle, I'll actually write, which I'll show you. You can probably see all my writings, but I put it on the cap. I'll put it on here. I got it, all over the place. You name it. So I have to kind of find where I'm going to do it. Like this grow, I'm going to go ahead and write it on the side here because that's somewhere I don't usually write it on. but it's just 6.4, and this is just water. So if you have jugs of just water, jugs of nutrients, or like for instance my bud candy, I'm gonna mix one up with bud candy. Write it on there so you don't accidentally give a plant something that you didn't mean to give it. It only takes a second to be more detailed, and it can save you from burning your plants, giving them the wrong thing. Same thing when I'll touch on it quickly because I'm going to do a bud candy in a minute after this, but if you're mixing up nutrients, additives, whatever, same concept, but you want to mix the nutrients in first. So when I go to do my bud candy in a minute, I'll do whatever I normally do by the instructions. I do 8 to 10 milliliters every time I use it per gallon. So I'll measure it out with my syringe, squirt it in there, shake it up real good, let it sit for a minute, and then I'll pH it after you add the nutrients in. Doesn't do you any good if you pH it beforehand, because when you add these nutrients it's going to change it, and then you're just going to have to re-pH it afterwards. So when you get to the nutrient stage, which I'll cover once I go ahead and mix up some nutrients, but pH it once it's ready to go. So do everything you need to do to your water. When it's ready, go ahead, pH it, and then you'll be able to go ahead and use it in your plants. So hopefully that's helpful. I apologize if I'm trying to get this new camera down, get everything kind of synced up here. This was just kind of a spur of the moment. I figured I had some spare time, I'd mix some waters up since all my babies have popped. There's 2 that are about to come